everybody.
Hola, fellow peeps. Welcome to Anime Eats.
The channel where we give you freshly served reactions.
With some more trailers.
My name is Ranger, your video editor here.
And my name is Marissa LeBlue, your cosplayer. All you newbies who this is your first video, welcome. We love you just as much. Thank you for being here.
And welcome back. Welcome back to Anime Eats, where we watch and react to nothing but anime. Right now we're watching My Hero Academia, Season 3, Episode 12. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification button to become an Anime Eater Squad today. And kiss your ornaments back there.
I can't reach him.
I got you, fam.
Okay. Well, anyways, you can also go to Instagram and follow us at Anime Eats. Follow me at Miss Leblu and follow him at For Real Though.
That's me.
And go down to our Patreon link in the description box below. Click on that if you want to see more personal things such as bloopers, vlogs. We have our AOT, OVA, No Regrets, Part 2 reaction on there for free. And we have, I don't know why I never mentioned this, but I realized it. I'm like, Marissa, what you doing? But Discord. We also have an option on Discord, so you can chat with both of us whenever you feel like it. And I mean, that's cool, right?
That's pretty darn cool.
I hope so. I mean, I don't know.
Without further ado, what the fuck I said? I did not say further ado. I don't know
Yes, you did.
I don't know if I did
I
or
thought
not.
you did. You were speaking English to me. I don't know.
Okay.
I understood your language.
Let's start this video in 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah, it's scary.
I know, right? What villain sees that?
Why does it look like a baby?
And a lot of villains comes out because of that.
Exactly. There's a lot of people that stay away because of All Might.
Yeah.
ただ一つ確実に言えるのは、奴らは必ず捕らえなきゃならん。我々警察もヴィラン受け取り係などと言われている場合じゃない。改革が必要だ。私の中の残り火は消えた。平和の象徴は死にました。しかし、まだやらねばならぬことがあります。
Train Deku. God dang, got punched.
I know. He jacked up.
根拠が薄くないか。二人ともその志村って先代の家族と交流はなかったのか。ああ。なぜ？志村は夫を殺されていてな。
So he was killed.
我が子をヒーローの世界から遠ざけるべく里子に出して。
That's crazy talk.
せめて平穏にと決別した血縁。私は死柄木を見つけなければ。見つけて彼を。ダメだ。見つけてどうする。
Right? That's what I was gonna ask.
お前はもう奴をヴィランとして見れてない。必ず迷う。であれ、奴は犯罪者だ。
He is a criminal.
これから俺と塚内で行っていく。お前は遊泳に残ってすべきことを全うしろ。平和の象徴ではいられなくなったとしても、オールマイトはまだ生きてるんだ。
battery. Taraki's family.
オールマイトが本当にもう前線に立てなくなったのならナンバーワンのチーム
As you? Oh, Endeavor?
He's mad. He's probably mad because of how he got the spot. Or something.
See?
See, I was right.
Yeah.
認めてたまるか。認めるわけにはいかんのだ。
He's like Bakugo.
Oh,
At least tell your mom why
you
you're
getting a
leaving.
beat? Oh, it's time to train really bad.
やっと来た
Aww.
That's crazy. Texas smash. He still got it, huh?
本当に言われたことを守らない全て無に帰るところだったんだぞ全く誰に似たのやら緑谷少年、私ね事実上の引退だよもう戦える体じゃなくなってしまった
I'm so sad.
See, he can do it.
おまけにマッスルフォームもろくに維持できなくなってしまった
Oh, that's
だというのに
crazy.
君は毎度毎度何度言われても飛び出していってしまうし何度言っても体を壊し続けるしだから今回は君が初めて怪我をせず窮地を脱したことすごく嬉しいこれから私は君の育成に専念しているこの調子で頑張ろうな
That's so cute. Can I join the hug? Can I join the hug, guys?
言われたことを
You really don't keep your word, do you? Oh, he's crying too. He said, "Did I tell you to stop being a crybaby?"
僕にオールマイト時代の収穫
Oh.
じんじんと進めていた元はといえばオールマイトが雄英に赴任したのが問題戦えない体になった今こそ再び子供たちが巻き込まれるのでは皆不安なのさだからこそ今度は我々で紡ぎ強くしていかなきゃならない君がつなぎ止めてくれたヒーローへの信頼をねしかし脅威は拭いきれていない
Of course, always.
守り育てなければならないそこでかねてより考えていた案を実行に移すのさよろしく頼むね家庭訪問
大事に至らなかったとはいえ一人娘が被害に遭った後でしれっと全寮制にしますってお父さんのおっしゃることはごもっともですしかし我々も知らず知らず芽生えていた慢心怠惰を見直しやれることを考えておりますどうか今一度任せていただけないでしょうか必ず京香さんを立派なヒーローに育て上げてみせますので
Kayoka?
いいっすよ頭なんか下げな
Oh,
く
it's her sister.
プリント郵送されてきた時点でもう結論出てたんで
Oh, I get it now.
I was confused
I'm-
that what you were confused
My
about.
bad. That's her mom. Go, I bet you. That's his mom.
His mom's
They talking shit to each other.
his mom's
Look at his dad. Oh my god.
his dad would be like a nerd.
That's crazy how the mom acts like Bakugo. And the dad is like, ooh. That's crazy.
闇深い家庭
本当に
Look at them fighting.
ああ寮でしょ勝木は生地何でもできちゃうし能力も恵まれちまってさよそ様からチヤホヤされてここまで来ちまった
But Bakugo would look like he was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
だから会見での言葉が嬉しかったんだよね
誰よりもトップヒーローを追い求めもがいているあれを見て好きと捉えたのならヴィランは浅はかであると私は考えております
ああこの学校は勝木を見てくれてるって一時は不安でどうなるかと思ったけど こうして答え満足で帰ってきてるわけ
It looks like an angry dog.
Like a pit bull.
だけど私は信頼して任せるよな。
オールマイト。次は
Oh, he knows now.
デクはあんた
Mm-hmm.
にとって何なんだよ。生徒だよ。君と同様に善とあるヒーローの卵だ。すまない爆豪少年、ここだけはさらせないんだ。そっか、あんたが言いたくねえならいいわ。
He knows.
ありがとう。待ってるよ。失礼します。
Nobody is in at home.
Low-key
Damn.
fangirling. Aw.
He's like,
事前にお話言ってるとは思いますが、遊泳の全寮制について。
はい、その件ですが。私嫌です。
Oh.
お母さん、昨日はって考えてたんだよ。でもね、嫌なの。水くは個性が出なくて、それでもずっとあなたに憧れてきました。でも、奇跡的に個性が発現してから、遊泳に入ってから伊豆く、どんどんボロボロになっていくんです。伊豆くの腕、知ってますか？これ以上怪我が増えると動かなくなるかもしれないって。
he's already taxing his body so much.
拝見しました。一人の一般市民としてとても感謝しています。が親としては怖かったです。伊豆くはあなたに憧れています。伊豆くの行く末があんな血みどろの未来。
It does though.
私は助けてー。私が来た。私はごめんね伊豆く。私無個性のままヒーローの活躍を嬉しそうに眺めているだけの方がこの子は幸せだったんじゃないかって
But at the same
思っ
time,
てしま
no.
ったんです。お母さん、伊豆くん、応援はするけどそれは心配しないってことじゃないって言ったよね。
But she's a mom, man.
She's
She
a mom
can't.
and I get it, but he wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
で
Sorry.
もごめんね伊豆くん。
母の気持ちをないがしろにしてきた。当然の帰結。
Mm-hmm.
いや、遊泳でなくて
Came back so
お
quick.
母さん、オールマイト手紙もらったんだ。合宿の時に助けた子から。
Oh, Coda.
個性すら嫌ってた子がありがとうってくれたんだ。まだめちゃ心配されててダメだけど、それでも一瞬でもこの手紙が、この子が僕をヒーローにしてくれた。
Mm.
嬉しかった。
That's what I'm saying.
そっか。
遊泳でなくたってどこだっていいよ。僕はヒーローになる。
Dang, mommy.
That's what I'm saying.
You're already. Hold on now.
I love how he doesn't want to get
Someone
excited.
who
背を
is
追うだけの
just
人間ではない。ならば死である私は支えて
his arms and his left,
道を
his right side.
順序が間違っていたこと。
Dang, that's crazy.
私は伊豆少年が私の後継にふさわしいと、
Aww.
すなわち平和の象徴になるべき人間だと思っております。
The symbol
Wow.
of peace.
やめてください。何なんですか。
平和の象徴だったものとしての謝罪です。彼の憧れに甘え教育を怠ってきたこと謝罪いたします。
She can't analyze that mom, bro.
遊泳教師としての懇願です。確かに私の道は血生臭いものでした。だからこそ彼に同じ道を歩ませるよう横に立ち共に歩んでいきたいと考えております。
オールマイト。
A nigga bowing. A nigga that he looks up to is
That's how
bowing in
much he
front of his
believes in
fucking
him.
feet.
You imagine?
Mom, you cannot deny that, bro.
抱かれるのは仕方のないことです。しかし、雄英ヒーローたちもこのままではいけないと変わろうとしています。どうか今のではなく、これからの雄英に目を向けていただけないでし
The
ょうか。
future UA.
少年に私のすべてを
I'm getting goosebumps. I'm getting chills.
命に変えても守り育てます。
Exactly. Brought her to her knees.
やっぱり嫌
And
で
I
す。
have goosebumps.
だってあなたは伊豆くの生きがいなんです。 雄英が嫌いなわけじゃないんです。私、伊豆くに
And that's what makes him happy as much as it
How are you
hurts.
contradicting
だ
yourself?
から命に変えないでちゃんと生きて守り育ててください。それを約束してくださるのなら私も嬉しい。
Aww.
お母さん、
約束します。
伊豆くも雄英で生活していくなら分かってるね。絶対心配させない。
You gonna make her worry regardless.
I'll say, if I was his mom, I would worry all the time too.
オールマイト、実に醜
Hey,
い
look at the song again.
しかし君は間違えたよ。戦いの果て、弟子に寄り添う道を望んだ。離れ時を見誤った。死に時を失った。先生というのは弟子を独り立ちさせるためにいる。頼りにしてきた死が手の届かぬ場所へ去り、彼は憎悪を募らせる。彼は真に戦闘を歩んでいく。仲間もいる。仲間を増やす術も学んでいる。
This is crazy.
人村、経験も憎悪も開墾も全てを糧とし、
Oh, look at that face.
次は君だ。
Oh, come on. How you gonna say next is your turn and All Might said next is your turn?
Of course, I told you they're parallel.
They are parallel. You're right. All for One is Shigaraki and All Might is Deku.
Yup.
The next generation.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Oh, he's in prison.
I swear that song that plays All for One's.
Theme
I don't know
song?
if that's considered All for One's theme song.
I think that
Because
is
I
his
think
theme
they
song.
played it before All for One,
Nah,
right?
mm-mm.
I don't know, but it reminds me of like Pain. Like it gives me the same emotion, except Pain's is still more epic from Naruto. Yeah, Pain's is still more epic and like probably still the most chilling, but it comes close to that for me, honestly.
It's so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's chilling.
It is chilling.
But the after credits scene. But okay, no. So let's go back to the episode.
I'm lit for this season. My Hero most definitely got me back. They reeled me back in.
Yeah.
They was
It
like,
was
where you going, nigga? AOT? Nah, My Hero, man.
Yeah, because AOT is such an enticing anime and so interesting and mysterious, and MHA was kind of going on the path of like being your typical anime, even though it was good. It was also like AOT's so atypical, but MHA was like the same old formula, but nah,
Because, like-
they're finally becoming like presenting what this anime is really gonna be. You know what I mean?
Because we thought that we got it, you know, where it's going to be as far as storyline.
Yeah.
Like cliche type. But now they threw us where it's like, whoa, so Deku really got to step out. Whoa, All Might
Yeah.
is done. Whoa, All for One and Shigaraki.
Way sooner than we thought,
Right.
because we did see this coming, but not so soon.
Not
So
so
now we're
soon,
like, dang,
so-
what are you guys gonna do with this? And then All for One being,
And then we like halfway through the season 3, I think.
yeah, and All for One being in prison, I definitely didn't predict that one. Like, so there's just a lot of surprises at this point. You know what I mean? And we're not dogging MHA
At all,
We
no.
always loved it. We always loved it. But as avid anime watchers, we know this typical formula of these juggernaut animes that take off in the industry. And so we thought MHA was gonna kind of be along those same lines. But it's definitely starting to throw in its own unique touch, and things are getting.
Because I'm not going to lie, like the best fight for me, the best fight scene was Todoroki versus Deku. That was always been my
that's
favorite
my-
fight and the most lit fight. Stain and the UA students was good. It was lit, but it was still Todoroki versus Deku. But now it got dark and All Might versus All For One. That just it reeled me back in for sure. I'm not saying that I was giving up on MHA or anything. I still, like she said, we still loved it. Still, it's special. It's like, but it was too much of a good feel anime.
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
You know?
exactly. And I'm glad that I feel like we're maturing because what I've liked about MHA from the beginning is that its progression is a lot faster than a lot of long animes tend to be. Like Naruto, it took forever to get through the painful childhood of Naruto because, come on, Naruto childhood had good episodes and it had good missions and stuff, but it was painful for the most part because you're like, dang, like, can we mature? And it took forever.
And they have hella fillers.
So many fillers. And Naruto Shippuden, it's like,
Yeah.
finally that's when it matured and it got dark. People were dying. People were really like, it had a little bit of trinkles of dark in Naruto's childhood, but like when they grew up, like it got dark. And so I love that MHA is progressing so much faster and we're already reaching that point of maturity in the anime.
It's crazy because everybody's maturing. The storyline is maturing. Bakugo is really maturing. Like, he's growing up.
Oh, he is.
He's growing up right before our eyes.
He made me so proud in this episode.
Now that's like he wasn't going after All Might yelling like, "Oh really, Deku?" No, he walked up calmly and asked him. He was talking about Deku pretty much, and All Might said, "I can't really tell you right now." And it seems like Bakugo respected, and he knows what's up. He's not stupid.
Well,
And he knows what's up.
yeah, no, I think the thing is, like, now that
There's nothing he can do, so he have to respect it, I guess, and just walk away and contemplate about it.
now the thing is, now that the students have come into contact with the villains so much, and now that they've encountered just how serious it can get, and now that they've encountered just what they might be facing or what they will be facing in the future and the true darkness that lies in the hero world, now I feel like their exposure to that is forcing all of them to mature and realize that there's more than just being like the number one hero. There's more, like, there's a true darkness in the world that they're facing as young adults, as young heroes, that they aren't even close to becoming pros yet, and they've already been exposed to these things that these mature heroes have a hard time facing. You know what I mean? These pro
4
heroes.
times.
Exactly, so many times by now. So I think they're finally at the point, and I'm seeing that in Bakugo too, where they're like, okay, like, we gotta like get serious and we can't be kids. You know, it's more than just, why do you favor Deku? I think he realizes now that it's more than that. There's more to it.
Because
you know,
there's more than that. He's not favoring nobody, but somebody gotta be a symbol of peace for the sake of humanity, or not humanity, but just a society. Because especially now, because his true form is out to the public.
Yeah.
Everybody knows his true
Which
form.
is so scary.
So that means that villains are like, yes, it's probably about that time.
Yeah.
It's probably that time to come out and do what we need to do since All Might is down. But Endeavor, come on now. Endeavor got to step up. Endeavor did not like that at all, that he's a number one hero.
No, but I mean, it makes sense. But like, yeah, once we heard him rampaging, I was like, oh, he's mad at how he got first place.
He's number one. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Never quit. Yeah.
No, he's mad. But I mean.
But yeah, 4 times that the UA students encounter villains. You know, Shigaraki, number 1 at the UA, Stain, and then Shigaraki in the forest, and now all for 1.
That's what I'm saying. And it's just like how, like, the point of maturity that Ida reached when his brother died and he tried to personally go after Stain is now the point of maturity I think all of them are reaching, and more. You know, so it's really, to see these characters like Shigaraki and Bakugo, who are always smart and intelligent, but they had a child, like tantrums. They had, you know, like these childlike tendencies within themselves. We're starting to see those disappear. and fade away. So I'm so excited.
Okay, so I like the villain side right now. I love the setup for Shigaraki and his crew and the Vanguards.
Yeah.
I'm liking it so much that I cannot wait for the development of them.
Yeah.
And what they have in store for us.
Me too.
Because All For One is talking like that's his protege. That's his next villain, All For One type villain,
But see, and the interesting thing is, he said in the after credit scene, he was like, "Oh, use all the hatred and the sorrow and the anger that you gained to move you forward," And what I'm thinking is, okay, does that mean that you're officially entrusting Shigaraki to find his path on his own now that you're locked away? Because what I thought,
independent.
because what I thought is that All For One's gonna eventually escape, which might still happen. I'm not throwing that away, but he made it sound like he's not going to, and Shigaraki has enough knowledge at this point to move on his own, which is crazy to me because Deku is like nowhere close, and All Might's like, okay, it's really time to start raising you like how you should be,
Because what did the police people say? Like, it seemed like this was their plan to do all this, for All For One to come out and showcase All Might true form, and I feel like All For One came out to prove Shigaraki that I am here, and trusting me that I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just talking. You feel me? I feel like that's why he came out. One of the reasons why he came out.
I mean, maybe, yeah, because he obviously didn't feel like he was completely secure. Remember, everybody predicted he wouldn't come out because he only would come out if he felt completely secure. Right. Well, obviously he didn't. He knew his condition. So maybe you're right. Maybe it was for Shigaraki.
Because the after credits, he's just talking, use this hatred, use this to, like you said, to move forward. And then he said that you try. He was talking. It sounded like he was talking to All Might in the beginning. What did he say? Let's go back. Let's rewatch it again.
And it makes sense too if what you're saying is right, because the heroes had it. If he hadn't come out, I think the heroes had a hold of the situation. So I think he had to come out whether he liked it or not.
Yeah, he said, all right here. Is that the end of the fight? You choose a path that led you closer to your ecstasy.
You might get what he's saying.
You see what he's saying? So what does that mean?
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
No. It makes sense because you know how All For One has kept himself segregated from the whole group. He's kept himself mysterious, segregated, everything, and he only allows Shigaraki to talk to him every now and then through their whatever.
Yeah, through the machine.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying is, so he probably, and you know how he's let him learn on his own, and he's like, you can try as many times as you need to get this right.
Right.
So I think he was being kind of like that parent that's like, let your kid kind of like live and learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas All Might has definitely coddled Deku. You know what I mean? Like anytime he needed his helping hand, he's put it out there immediately. Anytime he's been in trouble, he's saved him. You know what I mean? So he's kind of baby Deku. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, because almost every situation, except for the last one, but almost every situation that they've been like, oh, where's All Might? All Might. What will All Might do? All Might.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Without All Might, they'd be lost.
Shigaraki never was like All For One.
He All For One, even though Shigaraki's actions haven't been correct in the past, I mean, Deku's haven't either, but he's had All Might to save his ass. Shigaraki hasn't.
Because All For One said that, look, if it's shit hits the fan, I'm there. So, don't worry. Because, remember in the beginning, when he first lost, he was a fucking child. He acted like a child. And then the second time, or like him growing up, when they was trying to kidnap Bakugo, the work guy was like, "Yo, Shigaraki most definitely has grown," and All For One was like, "Dog, you grown. You got niggas. Look, you know, you finally built a team." And some sort, you know what I'm saying? He's starting to grow. Like, he sees him from afar.
Yeah.
And if he needs to, he'll be there to
Yeah, like I
whoop somebody's
said,
ass.
yeah, like that situation, I think if he hadn't come out, then they would have been done for. You know what I mean? So he had to come out. And even though he knew it could have cost him his life, or there you go, he ended up in prison, he knew the condition he was in. He knew that was a possibility. But if he hadn't, then Shigaraki might have lost his chance.
Yeah, because him coming out was bad for All For One. Because he did not want to come out yet. And he said it. He said, you had it, bro. But you didn't die.
Yeah. And
but pretty much saying that you choose to just be cuddling Deku.
Yeah, it's basically what he was saying. He's saying your students not becoming independent by what you're doing, which makes complete sense. And I mean, I would say that there's faults in both of their teaching ways for sure. But I get what he's saying in this after credit. You know, I definitely get it. And it's interesting again to see their teaching methods and how they are as people and how different they are. And what's funny to me is watching All Might get down on his knees, kneel on the floor, head to the floor, and basically beg for Deku's mom's respect in her hand, like her hand in marriage, I swear, to trust Deku with him, is so, it just shows the way that All Might has like cradled him or wants to cradle him, you know, like a baby. But it's funny to hear the polar opposite from All For One when he's like, use the hatred and blah, 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 blah to move you forward. Whereas Deku, it's like totally different. It's like very emotional. There's tears and you know what I mean?
Very emotional.
It's funny to see the difference between the relationships there.
Right.
But they're the same, but different.
彼は真に戦闘を歩んでいく。仲間を増やす術も学んでいる。大丈夫だ、信楽とんだ。経験も憎悪も開墾も全てを糧としろ。次は君だ。
You see that scar on his face? What's up with that scar too?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's crazy though. Yeah, man. So they are parallel, so parallel.
They are, but they're like opposite in how they feel. Their goal is basically the same, but they're opposite in how they go about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very interesting.
It's so because like All Might and their successors and back in the day and shit like that, it's all happy and you know in a way the film, the theme, the filter is like happy. But then All For One is like a business. Underground, like some type of fucking Godfather.
Pretty much, yeah.
Type person.
Yeah.
You know? Because I love the business suit and everything. I just like that. It fits his character for some reason.
Like
it fits how he is teaching Shigaraki and his team.
He's like a mafia leader too. I love the way he says Shigaraki's name. I love that.
They said that that's his real name.
What?
Shigaraki name, that's his real name.
I know, but I love the way he says his name is what I'm saying. I love the way All For One says his name. Like, I like that voice actor a lot. I think it's very fitting, and he sounds like a underground mafia man.
He sounds like a mafia. I love All For One. I love his character.
Yeah.
And what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because he's so smart.
Yeah, he's a very good villain.
He's a very great villain, because he's not a villain where he just want to kill and just to take over the world. He clearly have a vision, and he's smart, because he's a fucking businessman, looks like. You know what I'm saying? But he's smart. The way he talks, because he got to All Might during the battle. He knows how to talk his shit. And All Might, yes. That was what All Might was saying. You love to manipulate niggas and use their powers and shit. This nigga's smart. He's deadly just through his words and his psychology level.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's deadly.
The thing is, I feel like All Might. Obviously, All Might's not stupid. Like, he's not stupid. We love All Might, but he is more of like a feel good, like gain inspiration purely from raw emotions type person. Like he's very he's kind of goofy in a way. He's almost like a Goku type character.
He is.
He's goofy, feel good. He gets all his inspiration and power from raw emotion. Whereas All For One is like a well calculated, logical character. Like he acts off of logic. He acts off of intellect. Whereas All Might is not completely the same. He's more emotionally driven. In a way, you know what I mean?
It's like Goku and Vegeta.
It is a lot more like Goku and Vegeta, even though the reason I didn't make I thought about comparing All For One to Vegeta, but the thing is, Vegeta is more like Bakugo, you know, where he's like prideful and he acts off of impulse, and All For One doesn't. All For One's extremely, extremely well calculated. He like sits back and watches everything. All Might's really smart and very battle savvy and everything, but he does act a lot more off of raw emotion, which is where All For One got him. All For One has an edge over him when it comes to handling his raw emotions, obviously, because he was able to manipulate All For One or All Might briefly on the battlefield, you know? So.
Bruh, All For One, my nigga.
Yeah.
I love him because how he looks, how he just came out and handled things, and how he's teaching Shigaraki and their story and their bond. Like All For One is a great villain.
Yeah.
And I'm all for villains. I'm not the hero type person. Not saying that I'm evil or I'm a bad guy in real life, but I'm all for villains.
They're just really interesting.
Yeah, they're so interesting in me. That's why I like the Shigaraki and how they going with it. And All For One is crazy.
Because I mean, really, when you think about it, the villains are what usually make things unique. They're what brings the color into the show, and they're what controls which path the show takes.
And
you know,
and for some reason, the villains their motives and why they're doing things. It makes sense on why they do it, and it makes you think of like, what am I doing is right? They say it's right, but is it really wrong at the same time? Because like All For One looks at All Might like the villain. Stain look at other heroes like the villain, except for All Might. But still, like when they talk to you about it, it's like they have a point.
And I know that's why a lot of people love Batman too. Because Batman's in a way kind of a dark hero, and people love that he kind of combines the idea of villains mixed with the idea of a hero. You know, he kind of has traits that are typically put into both. He kind of has them combined into one. So that's just what it is. Villains always just make everything more interesting. We love Deku and All Might. I cannot stress how much we freaking love them. But they are what you expect. Right. As the protagonists, they're what you would expect in this type of anime. Know what I'm saying? But as for the villains, we still have so much more to uncover when it comes to Shigaraki and All For One. There's a lot more behind the scenes that we do not know about. Whereas we know a lot more, and Deku and All Might are more straightforward as people and as heroes.
Yeah, for sure, Bakugo. To be honest, Bakugo surprised me for some reason every time he uses power. I did not know he can blast. Oh, going back to the fight, I did not know he can blast himself like that.
He always has a trick up his sleeve.
He's powerful.
He has a trick up his sleeve. He knows how to use his powers.
Yeah, he's smart.
Because it's one thing to have a powerful quirk, but it's
how to use that shit.
How to use it. Yeah, the versatility that it can bring, you know. And he's just, his instincts are just killer. Literally, just they're so killer. But Bakugo is also, see, I love that we have Bakugo and Todoroki, because like we said, Deku, let's talk about them for just a quick second.
Okay, you gotta go.
Why?
No, I want you to go. I'm not gonna forget.
Is it off topic?
No, it's about Todoroki and why I'm falling off from Todoroki a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
We haven't really seen much of Todoroki.
Not even that, but I'll touch it.
But okay, so it's interesting to have characters like Todoroki and Bakugo just as protagonists, not antagonists, because both of them could have been villains. In the beginning, we could
Yeah.
easily seen how Todoroki would have been a villain, and we could see where Bakugo might have been a villain in the beginning when we didn't know them very well. So the reason I like that they have them there, and the reason I think a lot of people love them, is because they also bring that complex and that color into the anime, where they have interesting backgrounds that could have made them villains, but they're choosing to go onto the hero side of things. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to touch on that really quick because we don't get a lot of complexity as far as character from Deku. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's like intelligent and he's positive and he's feel good and he's freaking
And then
boss.
also, he's not out here winning fights all the time.
He's like,
Deku.
what do you mean?
Like, he didn't win the tournament.
Oh no,
You know what I'm saying? He get his ass beat. Deku. He's not out here like, oh, you know, the cliche of
right.
I'm the main character, I'm gonna be the best fighter ever, and I'm just gonna kill niggas left and right.
Right, but what I was saying, is like, basically Deku's a very straightforward protagonist. You know what I mean? He's straightforward. But Bakugo and Todoroki have more complex backgrounds. You know what I mean? They have more going on in their family that you're like, which way are they gonna go? Who are they gonna become? Todoroki, not so much anymore. We kind of already developed Todoroki at this point.
That's what I'm saying,
His
man.
maturation point was definitely speaking with his mom finally and getting that closure and opening that bond back up, and also learning from his dad kind of helped bring that bond, open that bond again. You know what I mean? He kind of got over his immaturity early on. You know what I mean? So we're still working on Bakugo now. Yeah. Now we're developing Bakugo the most, but they're just interesting.
Yeah, because when Todoroki used his fire for the first time, he looked like he could be. Like, he looked like he's unstoppable. Because, like, the way he used his flames for the first time was ridiculous. But now you haven't seen that. You haven't seen that.
Well, we haven't seen much of him.
But when you do see, I feel like he's not even going nowhere, man. What I'm trying to say is they need to lift him up again. Because, like, the whole tournament of Todoroki versus Deku was crazy.
But you have to think. They can't focus on every character all at the same time.
I know.
We had, like, a point of maturity for Ida. We had a point of maturity for Todoroki. Bakugo and Deku are, like, the two mains. They're the two mains. They're the two followers. Your freaking My Hero shirt that you had on, it showed it. They're the two mains that follow All Might. And All Might is, like, their king. You know what I mean? So they're, like, the brother characters. They're like the Gon and Killua of My Hero. So they're gonna take more time and more care in developing Bakugo than they are Todoroki. Right. But I know Todoroki is gonna come back when it comes to his powers and everything. He's too unique and powerful not to. You know what I mean? They're just not focusing on him right now. Right. That's all.
That's it?
That's all I have to say.
Well, that's it, y'all. We feel like we covered everything. If we haven't, please go down to the comment section below and we can have a discussion there, alright?
Alright.
But please, no spoilers. Also, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification button to become an Anime Eater Squad today. What else can they do, Marisi?
You can also go to Instagram, go to our profile at Anime Eats. Go to my profile at Miss Leblue. Go to his profile at For Real Though. And go down to the description box below and click on our Patreon link if you're interested in seeing stuff like bloopers, vlogs, talking to us on Discord, all that cool stuff.
Until next time,
Adios.